Alright, now we're going to start talking about another way to blend an object into a background here inside of Photoshop. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this image up here by using Command or Control W. I'll select Don't Save. I'm going to navigate back to the Adobe Bridge, and inside my Chapter 9 Project Files folder, I'm going to select blendif.psd. I'm going to double click that to open it up here inside of Photoshop. Once I have this open, essentially what I've simulated here for you is something that many people run into when they're working inside of Photoshop. Let's say, for instance, that you took a logo from a web page and it was a JPEG image, or you scanned in an image on your scanner, a logo of some sorts that is just one solid color, whether it be blue or black or whatever color that the logo might be, and it's sitting on this immovable white background. As you can see here, this is all just one single piece. I'll switch to the Move tool by hitting the V key on my keyboard, and I'll just show you this can just move around independently. And so what I want to do is I want to take this logo and I want to completely remove that white area there, and I want to do that in a way that's non-destructive to this logo. I want to maintain that logo, right? So what we need to do is we need to use blending options for this, because if we were to use, let's say, the magic wand tool, let me go up here and just select this right here, select the magic wand tool. If we were to select that and then hit delete, this does a fairly decent job of getting rid of that white background, but we've destroyed that overall JPEG image. So if we wanted to use that again on the web or something like that, we really wouldn't be able to do so. So let's go ahead, we'll undo that by using Command Z and then Command Option Z or Control Alt Z to get back there. I'll use Command and Control D to deselect that selection that I just made. And so if you scanned in a logo, and by the way, this is a very simple logo here, yours will probably be a little bit more complex and thus would be a little bit harder to do with the magic wand tool. So this is another reason why you'd want to use the blending options, because they give you a little bit more control and a little bit more flexibility. Let's go ahead and we'll take a look at how to do this now. I'm going to switch to the Move tool just to get that tool preview off of my screen there. I did that by hitting the letter V on my keyboard. Let's go ahead now and make sure that Shape 1, that layer, is targeted, and then we'll just double click on that layer to open up the blending options for this layer. I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see it just a little bit, and we're not going to pay attention to any of this stuff up here. The only stuff we're going to pay attention to is this little box down here that says Blend If. And essentially what you're going to be doing by utilizing these is telling Photoshop that if a certain portion of this layer is white or black, blend it in with the background. So for instance here, this is going to be a white background that we're wanting to blend, so we would use this slider on the right. If this was a black background that we wanted to utilize onto another white piece of paper or something, then we would utilize the black sliders. We're going to go ahead and we're going to use this white slider here, and you're going to be amazed at how easy this really is. We're just going to take this slider, drag it to the left, and watch how easy this is to remove that white information. Now once I start doing this, if I drag too far, you're going to start to notice that I'm degrading the overall outline of this logo. And that's not something you want to do. Obviously you want to maintain the edge fidelity of whatever logo or sketch or whatever it is that you've brought into Photoshop. You want to maintain all of those nice edges that you have. So in order to get around that, what you're going to do is just bring the slider back until you're still seeing a little bit of white. And then what you're going to do when you start to see just these little areas of white here, we're going to hold down our Option or Alt key on the keyboard, and we're just going to split this slider. We're going to click on it to split it in half, and then we're allowed to drag only that half of the slider. And when we do that, that removes the rest of that white information from that logo, but maintains that overall tonality of the original color there. So by splitting that, we're saying, okay, we're just going to take what we've done so far and leave that right there, and then we're going to take the rest of it out by splitting and going the other direction. So you're telling Photoshop to keep this one color and drop the rest. So this is a very handy tool, especially for complex illustrations that have a lot of shades of gray. You would come in here and then utilize that option click to maintain those subtle areas of gray and yet still be able to remove the white background from those as well. So you can see how useful this would be when you're bringing in pencil sketches, logos, or like I said, a lot of people take images off the web and want to use those in other types of applications, and this is a great way to be able to do so. We'll go ahead then and click OK, and when I do that, that, you're not going to notice any visual change here in the layers panel. There's not like a layer style applied to this layer or anything like that, but that white background is still actually there. So if we ever needed to get back to that to use it again, we could simply double click on this layer again, and then we could just simply take these sliders and reset them to their original positions and restore that white background. I'm going to go ahead and choose not to do that though. I'm going to go ahead and hit escape to cancel that. And so there you have how to instantly remove backgrounds from JPEGs or scanned images using this lovely little blend if trick.